Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jamaica 411. I want to thank you all for joining me today. If you're new to the channel and have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Share the video, give the video a thumbs up, and feel free to leave your comments in the comments section. If you're my subscribers, welcome back. Always lovely to have you. And you know the ropes, right? You're going to give the video a thumbs up from now on. Please give the video a thumbs up. And remember to leave your comments in the comments section. Right? I do enjoy reading them. Yes, indeed. And of course, I want to thank you all in advance. Yes. So, what am I going to be talking about today? Justice Seymour Panton is gone. He has indicated that he has no interest in remaining as commissioner, and if invited to do so, he will refuse the reappointment. So, this is Sunday, February 16, 2025. Justice Panton will no longer remain as Commissioner of the Integrity Commission. His tenure or his term in office expires on the 25th of February 2025, which is in another 9 days. We're going to be listening to Mark Golding as he addressed a small group of comrades in St. James a few days ago. He referred to Justice Panton and he had his opinion as to whether he should go or he should stay. Let's hear what he had to say.
Their property from their parents and all of that. Michael Manley. Equal pay for women. So if a woman is a janitor and a man is a janitor, they're doing the same work, then they have to get the same money. Before Michael Manley, that wasn't the case. Trade union rights. The Industrial Disputes Tribunal. So if you have a work and your employer not dealing with you fairly, your union can protect you. And I hear her say, the Integrity Commission, which has been standing up for decency in the country and for the righteousness in the way that public resources are used. And through enough of them mix up in so much things, they want to bring down the Integrity Commission. Imagine you have a former president of the Court of Appeal who has been the chairman of the Integrity Commission from it started, I think in 2018, 2019 when it got going. The man has been standing firm. He has been standing like a rock against all kind of pressure. He's not a political person, to the best of my knowledge. He was a judge. He was a well-respected judge. His contract is coming up. It looks like they want to shove him out. And what I'm hearing is now they want to bring some top labor right, full labor right, onto the Integrity Commission, which is investigating so much labor right.
Hold on there, little bit. Make we hear what Mark Golding just said a while ago. Pause. Or when would say, pull up.
Imagine you have a former president of the Court of Appeal who has been the chairman of the Integrity Commission from it started, I think in 2018, 2019 when it got going.
Yes, so it was necessary for me to hear again what it was that he said. He said, imagine you have a former president of the Court of Appeal who has been chairman of the Integrity Commission since it started. Now, I just wanted to be sure that he was speaking about a judge. It's a judge that he's speaking about that is going to be replaced. Let's continue to listen.
The man has been standing firm. He has been standing like a rock against all kind of pressure. He's not a political person, to the best of my knowledge. He was a judge. He was a well-respected judge. His contract is coming up. It looks like they want to shove him out. And what I'm hearing is now they want to bring some top labor right, full labor right, onto the Integrity Commission, which is investigating so much labor right. Nothing can go so.
So what exactly is Mark Golding saying here? Believe it or not, what Mark Golding is saying here, is that the Governor General of Jamaica is about to appoint, what him call him? A top laborite? A full laborite? Is that what he's saying? That is precisely what he's saying. In his, I don't know what the hell is happening with him here. Rubbish that he's speaking. right? All over the damn place. The man is going to say that a judge is going to be replaced. There are two commissioners that's going to be replaced this month. Or in any event, there are two commissioners that are up for reappointment this month. Seymour Panton is one of them, and Eric Crawford, right? We fully expect, unless Eric Crawford doesn't want to be reappointed, we fully expect that he will be reappointed. It is Seymour Panton, whom we were demanding should be replaced, not reappointed at all because of what he did back in 2023. Just to reiterate, the Integrity Commission Act requires of the four commissioners, we already know that the Auditor General, she is permanent on the commission, and then you have four more. Two of them must be a judge in the Supreme Court or the Court of Appeal, right? And then the other two, one of them should be a civil servant, I do believe, right? Top level civil servant. And I don't believe they specified what the other one was to be. Another requirement of the Act is that one of the two judges should always be the chairman. So the chairperson of the Integrity Commission has to be a judge, one of the two appointed commissioners who are judges. Now, Seymour Panton's term in office will expire on the 25th of February of this year, in a few days. And Mark Golding is saying that Wholeness is intending to replace Seymour Panton with a full labor right. Do you realize what Mark Golding is saying here, my friends? Because the person who must replace Seymour Panton has to be a judge. What is Mark Golding saying here? That there is a judge in Jamaica who is a full labor right. Is that what he's saying? Somebody was sitting on our bench passing judgment, and he is saying that that individual was a full labor right, and that is the person that Wholeness and the government is going to be putting as commissioner and riling up the comrades, telling them about that can't happen. You know, sister, this man is wicked and evil. And I will show you why I said that. Listen to him.
Nothing can go to Jamaica. And you know, I was the one who developed the Integrity Commission Act, you know, when I was Minister of Justice. I brought that legislation to Parliament, you know, and we designed it so that the commissioner is not the Prime Minister or the leader of the opposition or who appoint the commissioners, apart from the Auditor General, who is there by virtue of being the Auditor General. The other commissioners are appointed by the Governor General, and it is his decision. He has to consult with the Prime Minister, and he has to consult with the leader of the opposition. But him don't have to hear what we say.
You heard that? Did you hear what he just said? All right, let me repeat it for you because I'm sure you think you're not hearing right.
And you know, I was the one who developed the Integrity Commission Act, you know, when I was Minister of Justice. I brought that legislation to Parliament, you know, and we designed it so that the commissioner is not the Prime Minister or the leader of the opposition or who appoint the commissioners, apart from the Auditor General, who is there by virtue of being the Auditor General. The other commissioners are appointed by the Governor General, and it is his decision. He has to consult with the Prime Minister, and he has to consult with the leader of the opposition. But him don't have to hear what we say. And we design it so that the commissioner is not the Prime Minister or the leader of the opposition or who appoint the commissioners. And we design it so that the commissioner is not the Prime Minister or the leader of the opposition or who appoint the commissioners.
You heard that? Yes, I played it several times because we want to make sure that we are hearing right. Right? He said when we design it, it is not the Prime Minister or the leader of the opposition who appoint the other commissioners. That's what he said. And yet, he was telling the comrades then before that that they are trying to put some top laborite. Let me tell you what I'm saying. And I am quoting him now. And what I'm hearing is now, them will bring some top laborite, full laborite, onto the Integrity Commission, which is investigating so much laborite. Eh? That's what he said. When he said them now want bring some laborite, full laborite, is which them him talking about. He just said that it's neither him nor the Prime Minister who appoints members of the commission, right? It is the Governor General. So what is he saying? How would them be able to bring a top laborite, right? A full laborite judge on the Integrity Commission without the approval and consent of the Governor General? Hmm? How would they be able to do something that they have no power to do? It is the Governor General who has the power to appoint. So is the Governor General him calling them? Them want bring some top laborite, full laborite, onto the Integrity Commission? How are they going to be able to do that? Is it that somebody is going to recommend a full laborite judge to the Governor General who will then appoint? No, he has to consult. And I'm going to tell you this. The Governor General is going to consult with the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition. How this thing works? Yes, he not will listen to them, but he will listen to them. Why? Because it is essential that both men, both the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition, has full confidence in whoever it is that the Governor General is going to appoint as judge and also as chairperson of the Integrity Commission. So if they had gone before the Governor General and he said, we have Justice so and so who has indicated his interest in the job as a new commissioner, and I intend to appoint him the chairman of the Integrity Commission. What you fellows think about it? And each one of them will say what they think about it, right? They will say their opinion. Now, if one person disagrees and give a reason, even if the reason is daft, it is highly unlikely that the Governor General will appoint that judge. So this top laborite and this full laborite judge that Mark Golding is saying is about to be appointed to the Integrity Commission. Once he raises an objection, the Governor General is not going to go forward with them. So there is no need for him to be exciting the comrades, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is, we still have to ask Mark Golding this question. Is he saying that a judge who sat on our Supreme Court or on our Court of Appeal was a full laborite and a top laborite because it's a judge that is going to be replaced? Which judge is that? So are we to say that the next judge that the Governor General appoints, right? Since you said that him can only consult according to the law, he can consult with the leader of the opposition as well as the Prime Minister. And him not have to listen to no. So what are we to assume? That the next judge that will be appointed will be a top laborite? You don't say you're damaging the integrity of these judges. You are saying that the Governor General is planning to put a top laborite, a full laborite on the Integrity Commission? Because he's the only them, according to you, and how careful you wrote this thing into the law to make sure that a Prime Minister can put social laborites to run the Integrity Commission. That's what you said? So since you were so careful and you handed that responsibility over to the Governor General, it can only be that you're saying, you imbecile, that the Governor General of this land, right, is planning to put a top labor right, a full labor right judge to lead the Integrity Commission? Is that what he's saying? Now it is very, very interesting that he came out. Notice he's talking about the former president of the Court of Appeal standing firm, which is an expression of the 1970s by Michael Manley, right? What is he saying about Seymour Panton? Him standing firm. Seymour Panton standing firm. That's exactly what the labor rights have been saying, right? And him solid as a rock. That's exactly what the labor rights have been saying. So Seymour Panton standing firm and being as solid as a rock. You have no problem with him being there. You're out there batting for him. You're out there campaigning for Seymour Panton to remain. Is that because he's standing firm? Is that the reason? Because him is standing firm? We need to know. Because the record of Seymour Panton is dismal. This is coming from the Integrity Commission's annual report for 2023-2024. And this is what it says: Statutory Declarations Examination. Current reporting period as at March 31, 2024. It says matrix of statutory declarations, outcomes, and listen to the period from 2018 until 2024. So it is ever since they came into existence and they start to operate. This is the performance, the record of performance of the Integrity Commission. They said that they have received 549 statutory declarations from parliamentarians. That will be the MPs and senators. How much did they examine? 374. And of that amount, only 231 has been certified. Look at the councillors. They received 1,149 statutory declarations from they came into being until last year. And look at the amount that they have examined: 72 and only 45 certified. Take a look at the senior public officials category. 1,050 declarations were received by the Integrity Commission, and of that amount, only 109 were examined and 79 of that amount certified, right? So of the 1,050 statutory declarations, only 79 certification they were able to do in 6 years. As for the other public officials, they received 162,744 statutory declarations. And of that amount, 1,769 were examined. And of that amount, 1,426 was certified. Right? Now, you set up an Integrity Commission body. You ask that the government people above a certain income should submit their statutory declarations. So serious were you about it that you had penalties imposed on them for being late or not submitting at all. Right? That's how serious you are about it. And here it is that the Integrity Commission is not even examining the majority. I mean, this 1,769 is just a little over 1%. 1 point something percent of those that were received. That's the amount that they are examining. And they are certifying even less than that. So the Integrity Commission is not working for the purpose for which it was intended to do. it needed to look through all 165,000 statutory declarations, right? And then after a period of time, they would pick those that they want to audit, meaning to say they want to get into some details, like how they got into details with Wholeness's statutory declarations. That's what they needed to do. But without seeing all of them, it means that there are plenty of those public servants who are probably doing all kinds of things and they're not being caught. So the Integrity Commission under Seymour Panton was a dismal failure. And it was he himself who was saying that he find it hard to just to check the declarations and send them forward for them to be certified without getting into details to see whether or not they ought to be certified. The law clearly stated that once the declarations are complete, you see, that's the key word, Seymour Panton is hung up on this word examine, but the key word is complete. Once the statutory declarations are complete, you should send them forward to be certified by the commission. They're not doing that. They're auditing, and therefore they have not been able to certify more than 1,781 statutory declarations out of 165,000. And here is Mark Golding telling us that Seymour Panton deserves to be reappointed. On what basis? And if this is a standard that he thinks, right, is meritorious to the point where Seymour Panton should be put back on the commission and given the chairmanship. If this is a standard that he sets, then if you were stupid enough to put him in Jamaica House, what kind of quality work could we possibly expect from him and those Tapanaris people whom he would like to surround himself with? What we are looking at here, my friends, is absolute failure. And therefore, Mark Golding could not have been suggesting that Seymour Panton should remain as a commissioner and chairman of the Integrity Commission on the basis of merit. It could not have been on the basis of merit that he was doing very well. And for that to be said, he would have to be examining all 165,000, at least a vast majority of them, maybe 160,000, 155,000 statutory declarations, which would now mean that in that column where you talk about investigations and referral, it probably would have been much more than the 59. It would have been very likely much more than the 59. So this is not a judge who was performing well in his duties. And if there are people who says he should stay, it could not have been on the basis that he's performing well. It has to be on some other basis, which means they want him to remain in the position for some other reason that has nothing whatsoever to do with his performance. What could that be? Is it because he is standing firm?
The other commissioners are appointed by the Governor General, and it is his decision. He has to consult with the Prime Minister, and he has to consult with the leader of the opposition. But him don't have to hear what we say. At least him don't have to follow what we say. And he was deliberate, because we needed to make sure that the Prime Minister of the day can pack up the Integrity Commission with people who are yes men for him. And I'm hoping, and I'm reaching out to the Governor General and saying, Gigi, this is your time to shine. Don't make them pressure you for do the wrong thing. Do the right thing for the people of Jamaica. Defend the Integrity Commission. And make sure that the people who are commissioners are independent, reputable people, not political partisans who are going to use their influence there or could do and give the perception that the thing is biased. And we don't want that because we need a proper integrity commission because Jamaica too corrupt. Right now we lost 4 places in the transparency corruption perception index. It was announced yesterday, I think it is.
So you heard all of that, right? The law gives the Governor General the power to appoint the persons to the Integrity Commission. And he said that he is going to be reaching out to the Governor General to tell the Governor General what he's to do about how he exercises the power under the law. Now, isn't he the one putting the Governor General under pressure? I tell him, say, he must do the right thing because he wants Seymour Panton, who is standing firm, to be reappointed. He's going to reach out to the Governor General. Mark Bowling, come here. Come here, please, sir. Come. They're going to send this, go give him for me, please. Need to hear it. Because I would like to know, and I'm sure you'd like to know also, which law gave him the authority and power to go reach out to the Governor General to give him any advice about how he should exercise his authority under the law. Where him get that power from? Under which law is he operating under when he said him going to reach out to the Governor General? What do you mean by he going to reach out to the Governor General and tell the Governor General that he must do the right thing? What right thing? What him, Mark Bowling, says is the right thing, which is to reappoint Seymour Panton as Commissioner and Chairman of the Integrity Commission. That's what he wants, and he wants to reach out to the Governor General to tell him, don't allow anybody to pressure you. Right? And what law give him that power to do so? Oh, no, say this man you're not righted. A long time we telling you, say this is a sick man. He's not righted. He is the leader of the opposition with functions. The Governor General has his functions, and so too the Prime Minister and everybody, right, have their own functions to carry out under the law. So where him now get the power from to be addressing the Governor General about his function? You know, so said this a man did not righted. And him talking about we don't want no king, but him behaving as if he's a king. Doing as him damn well please. Think him is this high and mighty Bakra, talking to him slaves and telling him slave and him the overseer what him want to sit done and who him want in what position on his plantation. Now here the sponsors now. This is his sponsors, right? Matalan, Joe Matalan, who is the chairman of the Gleaner RGR group. And they have their own opinion. Yes, they want Seymour Panton, the man who is standing firm, to remain as the head of the Integrity Commission as well, despite the fact that he has been a dismal failure. And we have not been able to root out the corruption that may exist in the public sector because they are submitting their statutory declarations and they are not being examined, they are not being looked at. Now, when he was talking about Jamaica's slip, 4 points in the Transparency International Corruption Perception Index, I should like to point out to this Englishman that Seymour Panton is part of the reason for that. Because the Jamaican people, especially those who are supporting the Labour Party, are under the firm impression that Panton and the Integrity Commission is corrupt. That is part of the perception. When the overseas people who are looking at these reports that the Integrity Commission is putting out year after year, and they're seeing figures like these, that the total number of statutory declarations submitted to the Commission in 6 years since its inception is 165,492, and yet they have only examined 2,324 of those numbers, right? And of that amount, they have only been able to certify 1,781. What kind of conclusion do you expect these international bodies to come to when it is clear from the reports that Seymour Panton has been putting out that we are in no way better off in terms of our perception of corruption than we were before the Integrity Commission came into being? Because they are not examining the statutory declarations. This is the reason why we have not been able to move on the scale. Initially, when the Integrity Commission started out, we made a big jump because that would have been seen as a positive step. But since then, the Integrity Commission has not been able to do what it is set up to do, which is to examine the statutory declarations of all the public servants, which the law requires, and they are in breach of the law. And so it is Seymour Panton who is responsible for why we have slipped 4 points. My friends, I want you to follow me good now. Follow me good. Those international bodies have to rely on information in Jamaica to determine whether or not the country is less corrupt or more corrupt than ever. An integrity body was set up in order to examine the assets of public servants, not private individuals, government workers. They're the ones that the focus is on in terms of the corruption. When contracts are given out, corruption. When anybody need to do any business with government, people are deliberately slowing it down, particularly with the building permits, subdivisions, right? Taking 4 years to complete. And as soon as money drop into somebody's hand, bam, in no time at all, people get them subdivision approved, right? A whole heap of corruption. It's in the public sector. That's where they focus. So when the government set up the Integrity Commission and the law state that every single person must submit their statutory declaration of their assets, their income, their assets, and their liabilities. And it is especially so when penalties, heavy penalties, are put in place for you even being late, much less when you don't submit any. It is this that the international body, when they read the law, they say, yes, Jamaica look like it's serious now. And then when put judges to lead it and chair it, and then the country's auditor general is sitting on that commission. Governor General will be the one that will be appointing the members of the commission, and then the commission themselves now would appoint the other members who are going to work there, like the director of, well, at least they select them. I do believe it's the Governor General who does the appointment, but nonetheless, the director of corruption prosecution and so on, and the other directors. When the international agencies that are doing the ratings look and see all of this setup, that it's not the politicians that are making the decision, right? That there are heavy penalties and that it's judges that's supposed to be leading the way. We're going to get a pass mark for effort. Now it's time for implementation. Let us now see how it works in practice. And so, one of the judges, Seymour Panton, was appointed chairman. And in practice, it is clear that it does not work. The first thing that would have confronted the international body looking at the perception of corruption in Jamaica was 5 years after the commission started in 2023. The very man who is supposed to be leading the effort, the anti corruption effort, himself had behaved corruptly. He had the legacy investigation report on the Prime Minister alleging conflict of interest in the awarding of contracts to a company called Westcon Construction Limited, the principals of whom were friends of his. They were contracted to do work in his constituency when he was a minister of education. That was what Seymour Panton had in his hand from October of 2022, waiting on the Director of Corruption Prosecution to make her ruling in the matter, since it was referred to her. And that ruling came in January 12, 2023. Seymour Panton had that ruling in his hand. And yet, he evidently, based upon what Christie said, Greg Christie, he had instructed that the investigation report should be sent to Parliament to be tabled. And true to form, the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate, recognizing that this could bring down the government, they delayed and delayed 1 month and a few days when they finally tabled it in the House, both houses. And the people of this country, Labour Party supporters, PNP supporters, people who are not into politics, Christians, Worldlians alike, all heard, to our shock, for the first time in the history of Jamaica, that a prime minister, certainly modern Jamaica, a prime minister was referred to be prosecuted. You can imagine the consternation, the shock. He had to resign, bringing shame on us. We're not put him there to bring shame on us. 24 hours passed when Greg Christie wrote to the Parliament, to the Speaker and the President of the Senate, to tell them that he was now sending them the indicative ruling of the Director of Corruption Prosecution for tabling. This after he was instructed by Seymour Panton that he may do so now. And he specifically said it was an instruction from Seymour Panton. I want the gleaner to pay attention. I want Mark Golding to pay attention. And all of you out there talking rubbish, I want you to think. When the international body that is looking at Jamaica and assessing Jamaica in terms of its corruption saw that, when they heard the news, they would have heard that the Jamaican Prime Minister was being referred, were being referred to be prosecuted for corruption. Reuters had it. Reuters is an international news agency, them in every one of the 200 countries in the world, and they published it. So the Prime Minister is under threat of being prosecuted for corruption. Transparency International would have heard the news as well and may have thought, oh, maybe we need to drop Jamaica up about 10 points because it looked like them finally dealing with the corruption thing. Catch a big fish. They may have been contemplating to move us up 20 points up with the other countries. But instead, 24 hours later, they were confronted with the news that Seymour Panton had withheld the information, right, by instruction. And the effect of it was that it maligned the man's integrity. That I put to you, Mark Golding and Joseph Matalon. That is the cause of the reason why we slipped 4 points. Because that was corrupt coming from the very agency that is supposed to be investigating and prosecuting anti-corruption. How you expect the country to move ahead in those circumstances? Hmm? So right away, as long as Panton was in that position, we could not move. And now we slip. How can we have slipped? Look at the figures on the screen. Last year, 2 of our parliamentarians were examined and certified, one of them being Mark Golding and one lucky other. 165,000. We're not making any progress. This is what they have seen when they look at the Integrity Commission's report last year. This is what they have seen. We're not making any progress. 165,000 declarations. And all we have been able to examine is 2,324. How you expect us to move in a positive direction in the index when we have the information? We have the 165,000 declarations. We have them from all the people who need to submit it. But we are not examining them. We not talk about Prime Minister and Prime Minister thing not certify. That is another problem. Prime Minister now have them in court. When Transparency International look at that report, that investigation report by Kevin Stevenson that the Prime Minister now have them in court with, and them have them lawyer look at that, what kind of conclusion do you expect Transparency International to come to? What it is about Jamaica that is giving them the impression that we are corrupt more than ever? Hmm? What is that? What are they talking about? Bribery and so on, right? If they were to look at the Auditor General's report, right, where there are so many public bodies that are not submitting their audited reports, that is a big, big problem. But as big a problem as it is, all of these institutions, they have their internal auditors. But there is a requirement that external auditors should verify the information that was provided by the internal auditors. That's basically what that is about, and they have not been doing it. That is also a problem. But you know where the biggest problem is? With the parish councils. The parish councils are a big problem. And when Transparency International get hold of those recordings of Dayton Campbell, giving an insight as to the potential for these parish councils to be using public resources to finance the PNP's campaign effort because it broke. Is Dayton Campbell come say so? Cash flow crisis was what he said. That is also going to affect our corruption perception index. But I don't think it's factored into this one. But if the Integrity Commission was functioning as the law requires them to examine every statutory declaration that comes into them hand, had Seymour Panton been following the law, which says, right, once it is complete, you have to pass it on to the commissioners to be certified. They would have been able to clear the 165,000 and at the same time do their spot audits, right? Had they done that, and they would have certified so many, then Transparency International would have a very different look in terms of our corruption perception index because the evidence would show them whether it's 59 persons who are being referred for investigation, or 200 or 300 or 500 persons being referred to be investigated, and how many prosecution, we would have been far ahead on just the Integrity Commission's actions. And therefore, this fall in our ratings, I put squarely at their feet. Because even with the public bodies not submitting their audited reports on time, because the members of those bodies would be more or less seen as clean, then if you're going thief, you must do something with the money with your thief, right? And oftentimes people spend it in houses and cars and all kind of things. In which case, their income will not match their assets, and then I'm going to get caught up. You understand? Yes. So the Integrity Commission, whatever the Governor General does, I hope that the next person that is coming along will understand that they must clear up these 165,000 statutory declarations, right? Or Jamaica ain't going nowhere except down on the Transparency International Corruption Perception Index. Well, folks, that's all I have to say today. Thank you so much for joining me, for sharing, liking, subscribing, and leaving your comments in the comments section. Until next time, take good care of yourselves and walk good.